Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Well, it's that time of the year. It's con season. And normally I like to begin my adventures when either a MomoCon or sometimes I only have one con in the entire year, and that's Too Many Games, but I'm always making sure to go to Too Many Games.
Woo.
So, by the way, still going there June 24th to 26th. Buy your tickets now. But take your time in the hotel. But anyway, this year, though, I decided to change things up because for years now I've been hearing word about MAGFest, Music and Gaming Festival. Pretty much, it is a 4-day, 24-hour event. Well, the first 3 days are 24 hours.
So music and gaming. So it's not a magazine convention.
No, yeah.
Just make sure that's clear.
Or about the actual insects.
Yeah, the Maggot Fest. Look at all the people that missed trash collection day.
It's a Slipknot fan.
I would have gone.
Yeah, MAGFest is a 4-day event. 3 of those days are full out 24-hour just convention days. So, at 2 a.m., you're in your hotel and you get the munchies or you get bored. It's like, hey, you want to head to the con? You can do that. Not all of it's going to be open, mind you, because most of the events stop at around like 11 p.m., midnight.
Not necessarily.
Well, there was no, I didn't see any concerts necessarily past that time. Like panels, maybe.
Panels there were. I know there were tournaments that were scheduled at 1 in the morning and 4 in the morning.
But yeah, the arcade scene was still very much booming. That place never slept.
Yeah.
It was constantly brimming with activity throughout all 4 days. Even Sunday was the kicker for me because, I see Sunday, to jump real ahead of here, Sunday morning, I saw a lot of people were just packing their stuff and getting ready to go, because they knew Sunday was going to be the lull.
Yeah.
The event ends at 2 p.m. Vendors close at 3 p.m. But we went to the arcade one last time. It was it might as well have been a fucking Saturday.
Yeah. And I have a feeling those people didn't leave because I was there Saturday night until about 2. And I'm pretty sure that Sunday crowd was just there from Saturday.
Yeah.
They just never left.
So if you've never been on MAGFest, well, pretty much, it's in its name, like I said already, Music and Gaming Festival, with a higher emphasis on music rather than just gaming. Besides, you can totally be A or B about it because, you can either go for the music because there's plenty of concerts and all that sort of thing, or you can go for the gaming aspect because there's a big-ass vending area. Not as big as Too Many Games. It's like, you son of a bitch, stop plugging Too Many Games.
Yeah, I know.
I know.
The MAGFest people are listening to this like, dude, come on.
Well, I see, I can go to both, so I can enjoy both.
We're going to both.
Yeah. But
the good thing about it is that you get a varied crowd, where most people, you get some people who focus on the music, because I heard a lot of people talking and they were going to this concert and that concert, and they were never really talking about the game floor, whereas you get people who I would admit, myself is included in this, the games were my goal. The arcade was my goal, the vending floor was sort of my goal, and the console room was my goal. So it's all about what you want to focus on, but you can do either one, like I said, relatively nonstop.
which I think starting next year, because I think we agreed we're going to do this again next year because we really enjoyed our time. Spoiler warning.
Yeah. Way to defeat the purpose of an announcement video next year.
I'm definitely going to put higher emphasis on the musical aspect of MAGFest because we're going to be perfectly honest here. I've only went to 1.5 concerts the entire trip. One. And by a half, I mean on Friday. It was a Thursday or a Friday night. Metroid Metal was at 9 p.m.
Friday.
I wanted to go to that, and it was at 9 p.m. Each Standard Time. But the thing is that the concert hall is like a really big-ass ballroom.
Yeah.
On one end is one stage, and the other end is another stage. So while Metroid Metal was setting up, we had an Azul Striker Gunvolt concert going to the right. Lovely stuff. I only caught half of it, but the vocals were spot on. The beats were spot on. People were having their glow sticks and having a great ass time. I was able to catch. It was very spacious too.
Yeah, there was so much space there.
If you've ever seen Scott Pilgrim when they do Takati and Nagi twins, versus
the
Sex
battle.
Bomb, imagine a space exactly like that where the two stages are facing each other. They're just very much wider apart.
Yeah.
But while one is playing, the other one is setting up. So 10 minutes after they ended, Metroid Metal started.
Yeah.
Which is
You
great.
Want to do both concerts, you just got to shift over to the other
Yeah.
side.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it was very, very roomy. That was probably my favorite part about that. It was very roomy.
Yeah.
Even though we were pretty damn close to the center of the stage. Yeah.
I went to about 3 of the concerts that were there.
Where did you go?
I went to Metroid Metal with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Around Saturday at 5 was the band Psycho Stick. They were funny as hell.
What do?
They're a comedy metal band. They did like 2 covers actually. They did the Bill Nye theme song. Oh wait, no, 3 of them actually. They did Bill Nye the Science Guy, the theme song, the Doom song from Invader Zim, and Reading Rainbow. They did Reading Rainbow.
Just Reading Rainbow.
Did they start with like the little synthesizer?
No, actually, it was their guitars that started that one. But they did do a song about Mega Man, like an original song, and that was really good.
Have you seen this boy?
Yeah, and it's the T-1000 with a picture. You seen this boy?
And the other concert I went to was Bit Brigade, which, if you guys recall, 2014 TMG, we saw them as well.
Yeah, and just to reiterate on that, pretty much what they do is that they get a speed runner or someone at least knows the game really well to play through the game in like 20, 30 minutes, and the music is muted.
The music is completely gone.
But we have a band that plays the soundtrack for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they like change it up on a notice, like real time.
Yeah.
Like, so playing Ninja Gaiden, if he somehow dies, they cut their music off and play
you
the
just
like.
have to start.
That's what they did. They played Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the guy died once, but they didn't do the death music. They didn't do that.
See, I'd want them to do that.
I would like to do that.
I was hoping for that, to be honest, but they
Yeah.
didn't. But
I think it's because they didn't. They were probably in the middle of the song.
Yeah,
They were probably not expecting him to die. They
Yeah.
probably in rehearsal he went through the whole game.
We're firing you, just so you know.
The guy playing the game, his name was Noah. He was really friggin' good at that game.
Yeah.
Well, if he died once, if you ever played that game, dying once is impressive.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's pretty much what it
Man.
is.
The guy they had played Mega Man 2 at TooManyGames
And Zelda.
was I think a speedrunner. So, yeah.
Which is probably either really good or really bad for the band.
Yeah.
Because they're, could you hang out on the stage a little bit longer? We'd like to keep playing
I
this
got this
song.
wicked solo.
Like, oh man, the solo is great. It's going to be oh, he beat the stage. Never mind.
shit.
Move on.
Fucking speedrunner. What about you? Did you go to any other concerts besides Metro Metal?
No, I really wish I could say I did. I watched a few, and I forgive me for not remembering their names, but I watched a few people in the public performance areas. There were taped off areas throughout where everybody you could I don't know if you had to schedule time, but you could just show up and set up and start playing essentially a concert all on your own. And so I hung around and I watched a few people. I think the closest thing I got to really listening to somebody else was that guy that was dressed as KK Slider and was playing all the music.
That was probably the highlight of that. Was that Saturday night, right?
It was.
No, it wasn't Saturday night.
No, it wasn't
because
night.
we commented on him not being out at 8 p.m. on Saturday night.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Friday. It might have been Friday or early Saturday. And yeah, this guy was dressed as KK Slider. I thought he was awesome. We were actually on the sales floor.
Yeah.
And so I started talking to him, made a cool costume. And he says, "What do you want to hear?" So I'm thinking he's just in character. Like, oh man, what do you want to hear? So I'm like, oh, okay. And then he says it again. And I went, wait, do you know the music? So he flips the guitar over, and he's got what is essentially a set list of everything that he can play. So I said, KK Condor.
Yeah.
He proceeded to play, and I mean, if you're familiar with Animal Crossing, he played the Saturday night version, the full song, quote unquote, sung the lyrics.
Yeah, he made the weird noises.
Did the whole thing. I was blown away. I could not believe what I was watching, and that was when I told him, Saturday night, you need to be set up somewhere in one of the public areas and just hang out like KK Slider does.
And I never got a follow up on that because that was fucking incredible.
Yeah.
That guy's a guitar player that just happened to love Animal Crossing. He's like, you know what? I can play guitar. I like KK Slider. Let me do this.
And when I say he had a list, I mean he probably had 30 songs on there. Like they were. So I kind of wanted to just call him over and set up a camera and say, look, can you just play every one of these songs?
Just
for
play
an
3
hour?
songs and then Freebird.
Yeah, yeah.
Meow, 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 meow.
Oh man, how great would that have been if he did that? If he did that, I would have just started throwing money at him. rolls of quarters, so it would have hurt.
I really shouldn't be doing this because I gotta pay for parking.
I gotta pay for parking, so I'm just gonna make it drizzle.
Yeah.
Like you just
It's not gonna rain.
Yeah, I'm
Like-
gonna make it light rain.
you just throw a $1 bill and then you catch it.
Yeah, catch it and put it back in your
Ooh,
pocket.
It's like, kind of low on water at the moment.
But I got one of those rainwater barrels at home. It was impressive, man. There was a lot. I was surprised at the amount of cosplay, considering that from
man.
what I understood, there's no contest or anything. So
No, you're right about
there
that.
is
Yeah.
no contest. So there was no driving force behind, because when you get to Wizard World and stuff like that, there's a contest with cash prizes. So you'll get people from all over the place who bring their A game because they want to win prizes.
I think it's because Wizard World or Comic Con in general is generally more comic book based. So wearing costumes is a given the nature of that,
Yeah.
that alternate reality.
Yeah.
Where music and gaming is more like, well, music and
Yeah,
gaming.
it was just fun, and
Yeah.
that's why. But I've seen pictures from the past few years. The cosplay presence is real, so
Yeah.
it was not like it was going to be a surprise that there was cosplay.
Yeah.
But the level that they took it to was impressive,
Oh, yeah.
considering that there were no. I hate to say there was no incentive. There was no cash incentive. Let's say that. I mean, it was just a great time. Everybody had a blast.
Yeah.
I saw some fun stuff.
Yeah.
If anything, I think that would give more. Not that I'm saying that people that cosplay for cash are sellouts or anything like that. I
No,
mean, people
no.
cosplay for different reasons.
Yeah.
But it's always nice to have those that cosplay out of pure passion.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, and
Like-
and that's what everybody was doing.
Like
Yeah.
one of them I saw was actually from Majora's Mask. It was Deku Scrub Link and the Zora.
The Zora, yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a picture of those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that Deku Scrub
Yeah.
was huge.
Those two were really cool, and there was a funny one I saw. Food Pyramid Head. It's Pyramid Head from
totally.
Silent Hill 2, but he's in a culinary uniform,
Okay.
and he's a food pyramid.
Yeah,
Did you get
I
a
saw
picture
that
of
guy.
that?
Oh yeah, I got it.
Okay.
Okay.
I need you to send me that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Because
well,
as all cosplays go, plenty of pictures.
Yeah.
Pretty much the only visual media I'm going to be giving you guys for this audio
it's
podcast.
probably
Yeah.
gonna be. Well, you know what my favorite cosplay was. You know it.
Please
Come on.
elaborate, good sir.
I seen a picture of him the week before because he was at KatsuCon, which was in the same location the weekend before.
God.
And somebody pointed out that he was there, and I looked over and I ran over to him to make sure that I got a picture. Someone cosplayed Drake from Hotline with the red coat and the jeans on. And when I got a picture of him, all I got was a picture of him. He did the pose and everything. Apparently, he was there at KatsuCon, and he did have them this year at MAGFest. He had large Exodia cards and was throwing them down on the ground
With the
for
little
photo
dance moment,
shoots.
yeah.
And it was, I've seen the pictures of that, but just to see who cosplays Drake. And this guy cosplays Drake, and he was amazing for it.
the Exodia cards.
For all the other amazing costumes I saw, that was to me, because I love a nice elaborate costume, but what I like more is a fantastic idea.
Yeah.
Something that, because you go and you're going to see your Harley Quinns and you're going to see this and that. So I saw a couple Lucinas this year. It was fantastic, and they're wonderful. But for somebody to take a goofy concept and say, hey, I'm going to make a costume out of this, that's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I love it. And that was that for me, that was my high point for cosplay.
Definitely cosplays of all shapes and sizes at that event. I think, to me, one of the most defining memories I have of the cosplay scene in particular, and shout outs to that fountain area, which I'll probably say like
man.
6 more times throughout this
Yeah.
podcast. Beautiful area, because it was pretty much like a giant greenhouse almost, with glass ceiling and walls.
Hey, if you can even call it a ceiling, since it was 200 feet up.
Yeah. The Gala in particular, not to go too off of a tangent, was a pretty phenomenal looking hotel.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
wide
yeah.
hotel lobbies, entryways to ballrooms and panel rooms.
Yeah.
So nothing felt cramped. It never got claustrophobic, which I was
Yeah.
extremely grateful for. It was one thing, I sort of decry PAX East and MomoCon for. Well, early MomoCon, because they're not so bad anymore, was that because so many people go,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you were crowd surfing.
Yeah.
Through everything.
I mean, that's the curse of the large con, is
Yeah.
when the con grows beyond.
Nevertheless, fun, but definitely more uncomfortable.
It a little more stifling, especially if you're not comfortable with that. I mean, I did a video about that where, I told people just relax. You know, it's crowded for everybody. It's not just you.
Yeah.
But some people can't handle that. Some people are just, and it's not a question of they can't handle it like they're claustrophobic. It's just, it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You're bumping
Well,
into people.
There's also a phobia of crowds. I forgot the name of that, though, to be honest. I knew I couldn't make this show sound too smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, agoraphobia.
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 Oh,
Yeah, it's
look
like,
at that.
No, I will say it myself to make it sound like I knew the answer already. No, I'm kidding.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Agoraphobia.
Agoraphobia. Which it sounds like more like you have a fear of gore.
See, I figured if you played MMOs, you have a fear of aggro.
Yeah.
Agoraphobia.
Agoraphobia.
So you're probably a healer. To go to the timeline, I mean, let's start. We got there Wednesday.
Yeah, we left. Yeah, the event didn't begin until Thursday morning. We
Yeah.
got there Wednesday.
Yeah, we got there Wednesday. We stayed at the great place.
Registration was in the morning. It didn't actually start till the afternoon.
No. Started at noon. Well,
Yeah.
We're supposed to start at noon.
Well, yeah, because I guess technically a second afternoon is afternoon.
Yeah,
So.
well, you know what? I do want to say shout outs to MAGFest themselves because the registration was listed as 10 o'clock, and then the event was supposed to open at 12. We got there at about 9:30, thinking that there was going to be a line. Not only was there not a line, registration was already well open.
Yeah.
And we walked in, got our passes, walked out. Like
Yeah.
it was a ridiculously simple.
10 minutes in and out, which never happens in a
Yeah,
con.
it took longer to get a marker to write your name on the back of your pass
Yeah.
than it did to actually get the pass.
Fucking Wizard World, even though Wizard World itself usually has like 15 lines for different people to get their passes and all that stuff, took longer. That's just bigger people to convention ratio.
Yeah.
But still, remarkably impressive how fast and easy it was.
Yeah.
Just to go inside, get our badges, and have a good. Well, I mean, we still have to wait 2 hours before
Yeah,
the con
I mean,
opens.
that's probably second only to something like Otakon where you can just get your passes mailed to you.
Wait, well, that's how PAX East works.
Yeah, you just get it mailed to you. That's fine, but you know, for no line, no wait,
Yeah.
there's no drawback to
I-
that. I mean, and from there, we went in when it finally opened, hit the sales floor.
Yep.
Sales floor is always
First
first
thing we did.
Sales floor is always it's kind of like a bookends for me. Sales floor is always the first and last thing I do at a con.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the first day, that's when all the stuff is out that no one's touched.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you have a chance of finding that rare thing that nobody has claimed yet. On the last day, you're doing it because everyone doesn't want to pack all that shit up.
Yeah.
So they cut prices in half or they introduce deals.
Yeah, which they did. They actually did a lot of good deals. I got a bunch of NES games for $2 a piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was this one guy, I think his name was Marshall, which is, by the way, the guy I kept going to whenever we hit the sales floor.
Is this the guy that was dressed like Kung Fury?
Yes.
Okay. We went back and forth to him. I think I bought about 6 things from him on 10 different trips.
I bought plenty of things from him. I bought plenty of things.
I was very light on the games this time compared
Yeah.
to how I did with TooManyGames and how even PAX East. And even if I did spend money on stuff, it was relatively cheap. The most expensive thing I bought was Saturn X vs Street Fighter.
Yeah.
Which is long overdue because that's my favorite version of the game.
Yeah.
It's the only version worth playing.
Yeah. Well, I just need an arcade stick now for the Saturn, so I
Yeah.
could, I don't even know if those exist. Probably not.
Arcade stick for Saturn?
Yeah.
I got one for
Yeah,
you.
probably.
I think the
Call me.
I think the most expensive things that I got were the Donkey Kong GameCube bongos, which was also a bundle,
Yeah.
as well as Mario Kart Double Dash for the GameCube. $45
Nice.
with the demo disc. No player's choice, just original blacklight.
I hope you didn't play Mario Kart 8 too much before playing that because it is miles different.
Which is great. I can appreciate that because we're in a generation where we just every year we get one of the same games, and then for Mario Kart to say, hey, this year is Double Dash, it's worth it to go out and buy it. Not just because it's a different roster, but because the gameplay is different.
Well,
And I like that.
I like going back to Double Dash, not to go too off topic here, strictly for the team gimmick. But if we're talking about how a car handles, Jesus Christ, no, I will go back to 8.
Kind of handles like a go-kart.
Yeah. What do you think? There's 2 people riding it.
And actually, when I got the bongos again from the guy Marshall, it came with Donkey Kong Jungle Beat and Donkey Konga. The thing is, when I tested it out, Donkey Konga didn't really work. So I went back to him. He said he didn't want to take the whole bundle, so I could just trade. I could just trade in Konga with whatever game I wanted that was in the GameCube section. And I saw Metroid Prime. I got it.
Yeah, version 1.0 to boot.
Yeah.
So you could break it in half if you're going to
Yeah, there you
speed run
go.
it.
That's a great A game. The one guy that's always at Too Many Games,
Paul.
Paul's setup was there.
Yeah.
Which was a nice sprawling. He had like a whole corner to himself. Regen was a great vendor.
It's strictly for their prices.
Yeah.
yeah.
You
The
know.
prices were unbelievable.
That's where I got Double Dash.
That's where you okay.
Yeah.
I forget what I got from them. I know I got a couple of things.
I also got Fester's Quest and I think Friday the 13th from them too.
Yeah, you did.
Well, yeah,
I
but
was
they're,
there. I
they're
was there
like,
for that.
what? How much did you spend for those?
Like $10.
Altogether? It was like, or it's a piece?
Both.
Either way, it's still, come on.
Yeah, they're still fun game. Well,
Well, Friday the
People
13th,
like to,
I mean.
there are some people that, there are vendors like to jack up prices because they know that, hey, this one internet reviewer told those are good games, so we're going to jack up the price.
yeah. I mean, it's funny because there's some of them that I saw Friday the 13th for $10 and $15, and it's a crappy game, but because everybody, it's so crappy, they have so much fun with it. They sell it for
there's,
that.
Yeah, there's value in that.
Yeah.
no,
exactly.
no, thank you. Bad game's a bad game.
The biggest missed opportunity for me, I should have done it day one. I knew I should have, but Block Sprites, I think that's their name.
Yeah.
The one that makes the 3D printed models.
Yeah.
They were back for MAGFest. That's where I got my Zidane for Final Fantasy IX, which unfortunately is not with me anymore because it kind of snapped in half when I dropped it. Oh. But yeah, rest in peace.
Pieces.
Rest in pizza.
Pieces.
They had more Final Fantasy creations, and two immediately stuck out to me. One was a battle model Cloud with the Buster Sword, which, like, oh my god, gotta have that later if I don't find anything else. And the other, which I did a double take on, and then I told the guy, "You're a dick." It was Sephiroth stabbing Aerith in the
Nice. Excellent.
back. Spoiler if you never played 7, but she dies in that game.
Aerith dies by Sephiroth.
Yeah. But I think it was like $110. I mean, the craftsmanship was beautiful, but it was like, I want to hold off.
See, I'd have to put that on the shelf, and then on a shelf underneath, in a cup of water, the white materia.
Yeah.
For anybody who understands that, just sort of have it there, like, oh look, the white materia is down there.
They had to get a little Genova life dangling on the ceiling. Just wait for it to come down.
Well, what I need is one of those guys for them to do the Aerith dead, and then just drop it in a bucket of water. Very slowly, but I'm just gonna drop it in a bucket of water.
Just fuck people. They put little flotation devices in her arm. It's like, you can't fall down now. You may not be dead.
Aerith with floaties.
Yeah.
I think the one opportunity I missed was they were selling Clock Tower on the PS1
I saw that.
for $60, and it looked pretty good. Wow. I went back to see if I was able to get it. It was sold.
So you were not able to get it.
That's the risks you take.
Yeah.
You don't work on those instincts.
Yeah. There wasn't anything that
Damn it.
I don't think there was anything that I wanted that I missed. Like, there were some things there's tons of stuff that I wanted, but I was realistic about what I was going to be able to get. I picked up ActRaiser finally, so I was completely excited
Which I'm
about
surprised
that.
you didn't own already. I
Yeah.
was sure the hell you owned.
I have the box and instructions. I had no idea where the game went, but so now the box and instructions are reunited with the actual game.
And sure enough, you going back home, you find it the day after the con. I was like, fuck me.
I wish, man. I would take a second copy of ActRaiser. At least I could trade that off.
You combine the two together and it becomes ActRaiser 2.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah. I just play them both at the same time.
No, that's the bitch of it. You got to combine two together, too.
Get a ActRaiser 2 and Knuckles.
Yeah.
Stick one on top of the other.
ActRaiser 2 and ActRaiser. It's like, it's like a combo deal. I'm down with that.
Yeah, I wasn't looking for anything too large just because I have one trip for that a year. And, I can't afford to be making all the big purchases now and in a few months going back to the big convention for the big shopping.
This con year's going to kick my ass. I know that for a fact. Because, I got MAGFest. PAX East is in April. MomoCon is in May. But to be fair, MomoCon I don't think is going to be too horrible on my wallet, except for flight plans and all that sort of thing. and of course TooManyGames,
Oh yeah.
which you're paying for both hotel and travel.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah, but travel isn't really that bad
True.
for us.
Yeah, travel is what, a half an
It's like
hour,
40 minutes.
40
Yeah,
minutes.
which is not awful at all. I mean, this was a 2.5, 3 hour drive to MAGFest, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
which was light compared to what some people did.
But even then, like, it wasn't even that bad of a trip until the end of the
No,
the
yeah,
trip.
yeah.
It was pretty smooth sailing, and then we get
Yeah.
bottlenecked.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
Everything
so
just-
much traffic.
Everything got confusing, and the GPS was trying to put us on a road that just was under construction.
Yeah.
So, but the GPS didn't know, so we'd go down the street and we'd keep
Well, it was
going
one of those.
straight.
It was one of those dedicated GPSs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
and
one you
then-
have to constantly firmware update.
Make left into sand pile.
Yeah,
Make left at the next right.
you know, at the light, I had to turn left. So then it was trying to make me get back on the road. I had to crisscross back and forth. We basically zigzagged out of the area for 10 minutes.
We get a USB charger. We'll use one of our phones next time.
Yeah.
Man,
Just so it's also a lot louder.
yeah. Well, I have it turned down.
Okay.
There's no point in me listening to it since I'm always listening to music in the car.
Yeah.
That's why I was very nice to you guys and did not blast the music the way I normally do and play what I normally play.
Like, what do you normally play?
I have like 2 EDM CDs that I put together, and then rock. I mean, metal and stuff like that. You guys would probably be okay with, but the EDM stuff, the dubstep and all that.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah. I have eclectic electronic music tastes.
Did we buy any music while over at the vending area? I did.
Yeah.
Metroid Metal.
Metroid Metal's a given. I
Yeah.
bought something from Game Chops because I'm friends with DJ Cutman. He's a
Yeah.
nice guy.
Oh, so you're obligated. Okay.
Yeah, no. But I do like his stuff.
Oh, that's good. Oh, yeah.
And even then, I think it's called like Chozo Legacy because
Yeah.
Metro related. Yeah, the
Yeah.
one thing I loved about this con was it was Metroid themed.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could tell that from as soon as you look at the badge. The badge is Metroid.
Yeah, which we got to talk about just the Metroid presence. There was one very awesome presence.
I bought a kazoo.
Yeah, what was that about?
They were selling kazoos, and again, the band Psycho Stick. They have a song about Bruce Campbell. I'm not joking, and they have a kazoo. They have a kazoo part in almost towards the end of the song. So, kazoos.
Makes sense.
Maybe next year we'll get the Drake cosplayer to do a kazoo solo, and just completely blow everybody out of the water with interesting.
With the Exodia cards.
He just plays Hotline Bling on the kazoo.
Yeah. One band in particular that I immediately just gravitated for was actually Super Soul Brothers. I ended up buying 2 of their CDs because when I was around the artists area of the vendors, a few members of their band were actually at their table and they were playing live music.
Yeah.
Oh
You know?
yeah,
Well, I mean, what they had like a boombox or some sort of other MP3 player and played music in the background as a supplement, but they replaced like some parts with their own instruments.
Okay,
So you're
okay.
playing a soulful, jazzy version of like Meta Knight's Revenge from Smash Brothers. Oh, I'm sorry, Kirby Ultra Star. I'm a sucker for jazz. Absolutely fell in
Yeah.
love with this. So I ended up going up to them buying 2 CDs, and I've actually really loved what they have. So shout out to them. But besides the Chozo's Legacy from Game Chops, that was about it. I didn't really spend any more money on music because I didn't really have enough time for that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Because majority of my time was spent just talking to people.
Pretty
You know,
much.
just
Yeah.
saying hi to the fans of the channel. Some call me Johnny SGB BSC, and just shooting the shit. I had the little meet and greet, of course, around the fountain area.
Yeah,
because of
yeah.
how I was originally going to have it at the Screenwave Media Table. It was a pretty open area, but then it was also Saturday.
Yeah.
So I figured, you know what, it may be really crowded. So let's go to the very open fountain area, which
Yeah.
also, if I knew in the back, was even more spacious.
Yeah. Shout out to I was part of a Splatoon cosplay meetup.
Yeah.
On Friday, which is how I found out about the fountain area.
Yeah.
Because the way we were coming in, we kind of bypassed it. So I met everybody there, and I remember standing there thinking, this place is awesome. And then Saturday, that's why we went there Saturday, and we were hanging out, and it was just,
Lovely 60-degree weather.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
fantastic
Wh-
weather.
why?
We went outside.
Why wasn't it like that the entire trip?
Yeah.
I would have loved the entire trip to be like that because I was tired of shit carrying that coat around.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the only. It's since it's right near the bay, I guess. It's
Yeah.
very chilly chill wind coming through, and you had to carry your coat around or stuff it in your backpack.
We didn't rent out in the Gaylord, for the record. We went to that Wyndham Resort place down the street, which is really nice in itself. But it's still like a block away, and that's a block you're traveling in like 30-degree weather, and you don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, it was not.
But Saturday was different.
Unless you're dressed up as Elsa.
Yeah,
it was not easy
Saturday
to get
was
around.
Different, though, and I'm really wishing the entire con was like that. Well, maybe PAX East would be a little better in Boston in April. I doubt it.
Yeah, probably not. You're going north. It's going to get worse. Yeah. Otherwise, it was, fantastic. The Metroid setup. I wanted to mention the Metroid setup.
Oh, the Metroid Marathon.
Since this was basically all Metroid themed, what they had was all the Metroid games set up, but they only turned on Metroid.
Yeah.
Someone had to beat Metroid, and then they would turn on Metroid 2. Yeah. Someone had to beat Metroid 2, and then they would turn on Super Metroid.
It was pretty much like 8 or 9 television sets next to each other, all with different systems, well, some similar systems.
Yeah,
but
the Super Nintendo with the Super Game Boy for Metroid 2. And then a Super Nintendo for
Metroid.
Or a Wii. It was actually a Wii.
Yeah, you're right.
For Super Metroid.
Probably because it's easier to hook up.
Yeah.
But in order to play the other game, you had to have beaten the one previous to it. And by the time we got there, fucking Metroid Prime 2 was already unlocked, which people took the longest to beat because it was Metroid Prime 2. Not that I say it's a bad game, but it definitely requires a certain taste to just sit on your ass and play the entire thing.
Yeah.
Someone did it twice.
Yeah.
So shout out to that guy, because without him, he was able to unlock Zero Mission,
which
you jumped on immediately.
I jumped. We were there when Metroid 2 was finished.
Yeah.
So when it was done, I looked at John and said, "Do you want this, or do I want it?" And I jumped.
Well, I was already in the middle of playing Fusion when you took Zero Mission. Yeah.
So I jumped on Zero Mission, and with a little help, since it's been a little while since I played through it, I got through it.
I backseat came the entire fucking
and you know what? I'm totally fine with it, because I was more interested in speed, and I usually just kind of take my time through the games, but I wanted to go quicker because I wanted to unlock the next game.
Yeah.
So with some help, got it under 2 hours. And so we finished that one up, got my name on the list, and then they unlocked, Metroid 3.
Unlocked Metroid Prime 3.
Metroid Prime 3.
Yeah. So pretty much every time you play a Metroid game and beat a Metroid game and you prove it to the staff, your name gets written on a list.
Yeah, and then from then they'll turn it on. And it's not like you're not allowed to play the other games. It's just they won't turn the game on for anybody until at least one person beats the game.
Yeah.
So then I think it was the next day I was in a line somewhere, and then they said that Metroid Prime 3 was finished. So Other M was up. And then for Other M, all you win was disappointment.
Yeah.
As soon as Other M got unlocked, everyone left.
Yeah, pretty much just leave. The con's over.
Same time next week? It's only a 4-day competition.
Same time next year.
And then Metroid Prime Pinball.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't have any of the spin-off games.
How great would that have been to play? At least Hunters. I know everybody hates Hunters, but I liked Hunters.
Hunters single player is boring as shit.
It's boring, but it was it was better than Pinball.
The only 2 games I played to beat for that marathon was Super and Zero.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Fusion too, but it's like when you just finished it for SGB, my 99% run, and you have to sit through that dialogue over and over again, even your button mashing through it takes a bit out of you. That's what I love about Super and Zero. No dialogue, just keep going.
Yeah, and then by the time you got to it, Prime was open.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really, it's not like there was a driving force behind beating it. It wasn't like you're sitting there thinking, I got to finish this to open up the next. It was just sort of playing it.
Yeah. Oh, shout outs to Nintendo Capri Sun, Tim, who was next to me while I was playing Zero Mission. I think he was playing Prime. He was playing. No, I was playing Fusion.
You were playing Fusion. Was he on your left or your right?
He was on my left.
He was on your left. He was playing Prime 1.
Yeah, he was playing Prime 1.
Yeah, they put Prime 1 and then Fusion and then Prime 2.
No. He was playing Prime 2. I'm sorry.
Oh, was he?
He was playing Prime 2. I was playing Zero Mission.
Okay.
Because I was. Yeah, but I didn't really say anything to him. Like, I recognized him. And I gave him a quick hello. And then I'm playing Zero Mission. It's like, do I say something? It's like I sort of know this guy.
This is awkward.
It's like, you know what? I'm just gonna play the game. Maybe he was like really into it. Like,
oh yeah,
playing Prime 2, like super into it. Like,
That's what we do, man.
Yeah,
I was when I was playing Super Metroid,
I
which
got
I ended
into
up
that.
dying on Ridley, but when I played Super Metroid,
and shout out to all the fans that approached me while I was playing Zero Mission. One in particular decided wanted to hang out and just shoot the shit, and he just made like one off. He was quiet for like 10 minutes a bit, and then and for my Zero Mission run, I did reverse boss. Like I did Ridley first, and then the crit and all that. But even when you're doing reverse boss rush, the bosses in Zero Mission are pathetically easy.
Yeah.
And he was quiet for 10 minutes. I beat Ridley. It's like, wow, these bosses are a joke. And I just I bursted laughing for like a minute and a half because it just came out of nowhere. But he was a cool dude. A lot of people that I met were really cool throughout that event.
Yeah.
yeah, not a whole lot of. A lot of
No
the
creepy
nightmares,
stalkers
Yes.
this time.
Yes.
no stalkers, no. I'll be honest, some of the nightmare stories you hear about MAGFest include things like fan funk,
Yeah.
where just people they want to try and stay there all day, so they don't shower and they're sweaty and they smell. I'll be honest, I didn't encounter any of that.
No.
Everybody seemed very well put together. I would say it was nothing about the people made it an unpleasant experience.
No, this is the first time in a while I had a con where I didn't feel uncomfortable when someone was around me or anything like that. Because I got that the last two cons, to be honest. I won't put out names or anything like that. But
the last thing you want is for a fan to lean in and say, "Our sweat is merging."
yeah. If I notice you're following me without you saying anything for a good hour and a half, you're creeping me out.
Yeah.
And it will. Yeah, it probably takes me telling you fuck off, please, because you're bothering me.
That's why if you're a fan out there and you see him and he's hanging out, walk over and say, "Hey, I know that it's super nerve-wracking, but he is at a convention."
Yeah, which is public.
All these guys are there. They're at a convention just like you. They're doing the same thing. They're celebrating the same thing. It's why you're a fan, because they're regular guys doing the same thing. So come on over and just be a regular person.
Absolutely.
Don't try not to be a creeper, but at the same, come on over and say, "Hey, what's going on?" Shake a hand and ask a question.
Which is not to say we didn't have our own people to stalk.
Oh, well, yeah.
Panels, obviously. Didn't go to many as well either, because we talk about the pamphlet for a second here, which was it listed everything nice and neat, but it had a printing error.
Oh yeah.
So Thursday was Friday, Friday was Saturday, Saturday was Sunday, and Sunday was Monday. And I was like, wow, I thought this was a 4-day event.
Yeah, everything on the pamphlet that said Friday was Thursday. And then it was all shifted one day. But it was, when you get your head wrapped around it, it was fine.
Yeah.
But
you had to constantly remind yourself, especially when you're in the late night hours, wanting to do something, it was like, you don't realize you're past midnight, so you've already transitioned from Thursday to Friday.
Yeah, because it's not, it's not a regular convention where when it closes, it's open all the time. So at when you see a panel at 2 a.m. on Saturday, but the schedules are all printed wrong, you end up in a ball on the floor crying because you're not really sure where to go and what to do.
I only went to 2 panels off the top of my head. Yeah, I only went 2 panels. One was the celebrating 25 years of Sonic the Hedgehog panel, which you went to. So did you.
Yeah, I ended up in the back of the room.
Yeah.
Like I showed up late.
You were all the way to the
going on.
Yeah, you were all the way to the right. We were somewhat in the front.
I was front and center for that thing because there was nobody sitting there as early as I got there. And it was pretty interesting. Again, we're so fucking vocal Sonic fans. Like, we couldn't even get to the entire.
Yeah, when they got towards the end, I think it was the last 4 games. They just had to crank them out in 5 minutes, and they're okay. We played this game. We love this game. Next game.
Say, boy, isn't that indicative to the quality?
Look at that. That's awesome. These games sucked.
It was pretty cool. Just you talking to, other Sonic fans who are relatively level-headed.
Yeah.
Not going ape shit over this and that.
Yeah,
I was tempted though to because they had the microphone on the table, which they used for guests to speak. Which I thought they were going to use, honestly, but they didn't. I was tempted to take the mic. I was like, okay, I need all the Adventure 1 fans on the left and all the Adventure 2 fans on the right. It's like Sonic segregation.
Then meanwhile, I'm not paying attention because I'm checking all my street passes. So I end up in the lonely section of people who love Shadow the Hedgehog more than anything else.
Before we get back to the panels, again, 3DS Central. That's what I do in cons.
Yep.
And I was finally able to, once again, get all the puzzle pieces after the Spot Pass added fucking Yokai Watch, Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, and what was the other game? Oh, Animal Crossing Happy Home Designer.
Yeah. Oh, did you finish them all,
Yeah,
though?
they're all finished. Once again, I got that bronze star next to my backpack, which I'm dreading the next Spot Pass to take it away from me. But they'll probably do it for something Pokemon related, no
Most
doubt.
likely.
Oh, yeah. I'm imagining a puzzle for every
Major
Pokemon
release.
generation.
Yeah,
all
or
the
at
way
least
up until
every
Sun and
major
Moon.
release.
Yeah.
So, fuck me. Anyway.
Next MAGFest.
Yeah. Or hell, it could be as early as PAX East.
Yeah, I need another big convention because I went from 517 puzzle pieces because I don't street pass that much. 517 to 1,062.
Yeah.
I think so. One more convention should seal me in place.
Then, I guess the only other panel I personally went to, well, we all threw it one.
Yeah.
This one was Runaway Guys Throwing Controller.
Yeah.
This was my fourth one, I think, because I was introduced to this at first at PAX East 2014, I want to say. No, it was MomoCon 2013.
Okay.
Because they always go to MomoCon as well. And if you don't know what it is, if you don't watch Runaway Guys or Chuck Conroy, it's pretty much their love letter to Nick Arcade, really.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
You're called up. There's numbers 1 through 10 on the screen. You pick a number. It's trivia questions. It could be a video game challenge. And then you gather points so that at the end of the game, the player with the most points wins the prizes, a grand prize, and all that. It's always a great time because people just really get into that shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it was fun, man. It was my first one.
Well, in this case, people got too into it.
That was that was an unexpected problem with
this
the new game.
Because the new thing they introduced for this throwing controllers was the lightning round, where in like 10 seconds you name 5 of this or 5 of that. The audience could not shut up.
No.
Like, the audience could not shut up and say the answers out loud. And, like, fucking Proto-John, like, had to say, we're going to get security to kick you out if you keep shooting the answers
he
out.
was really scolding everybody, and it was a shame that he had to do it.
Yeah,
but-
I mean, for good reason. It was like, shut up.
Yeah.
It's like, you guys, everyone actively goes shh when it's an audio question. But when it's a lightning round, everybody wants to talk.
everybody
Yep.
answered.
Yeah.
I think that's just naturally
it's just,
what happens.
they're just getting into it. But at the same time, you're not playing the game right now. That person is.
Yeah.
The only other thing because they were taking feedback at the end of that,
Yeah.
with that Q&A panel, and someone beat me to it, but I told them next time bring back the numbered cards, because originally for the last 3 throw controllers, you were given a numbered card, and then they take out the random number generator, call the number, that person goes up. This year, hand raising.
Yep.
Yeah,
Which nothing against the people that picked, they were clearly ignoring the back row.
Yeah.
They did not go all the way to the back row, and kind of felt left out.
Yeah.
and when they did the Q&A about what to do, they were kind of saying, we weren't really sure how to do it, and I'm sitting there thinking, just hand out those raffle tickets that you can buy at a roll of 1,000 of, and just hand out raffle tickets and call everybody like a raffle. If anything, at the end of the thing, you could even call a few raffle tickets just to win prizes and not even actually play the game.
But the panel itself, that end game was something else. Because
the first guy to play a game got 3 right.
Yes.
And was the guy with the lead score, led the whole game until the last contestant came up and won in the most dramatic fashion ever.
something you see in movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it was unbelievable the way he just you can explain
he was a Wario cosplayer. His name is Steve.
Yeah.
Watches my channel because I met him 2 other times before that throwing controller panel.
He was at the meet and greet.
He was at the meet and greet.
Yeah.
And he was also in that big Smash Brothers cosplay meetup at the second floor of the Garden.
Yeah.
He was also at the Psycho Stick show too.
Was he there?
Yeah, he was there.
Either way, really into his cosplays, lovely guy, and he was the last contestant, 4 points. He took the entire game, but the way he got that 4th point was because in throwing away controllers, you don't get to see what category you pick on the numbers. Sometimes you get something really easy, sometimes you get something a little tricky, and sometimes you'll get the brutal question, which is like the end-all, be-all. You better be a pristine scholar of video game knowledge to get this right. And this one, he got a brutal question, and it was F-Zero related. Besides Captain Falcon, name the 3 other racers in the original SNES F-Zero. I can name Samurai Goro, but I'll be damned if I remember the other 2. And he struggled a bit at the end there, making us sweat, and he got it right. Like, it was Dr. Stewart was the other one.
Well, he got Samurai Goro right off the bat, and then he said Pico, and he's sitting there and they're looking in there, and it was literally like a tense moment,
like in a rare moment when the audience is not screaming out the answer.
Yeah, finally nobody was saying anything, and I really think it was because nobody knew.
Yeah,
and he just goes, Dr. Stewart?
Yeah,
and they're like,
holy shit!
Yeah, he's like, holy shit,
and
you're right.
The place exploded.
Yeah.
Just fucking erupted in cheers, and everyone was like, "Wario, Wario!" It's like, but then someone said his real name.
Like, what's his name? Steve.
It was Steve. Steve. Which I also think was also an in joke for Chugga Conroy, because he did a Pikmin playthrough years ago, and I think the very first Pikmin he ever plucked, he named Steve. So for a lot of people, it was also an in joke for Chugga Conroy. But I think why people got it, but I love the little silence and it just started chanting Steve.
Oh man, but he won some cool stuff too.
The grand prizes.
Yeah, of course,
the
grand prizes are always spectacular in throwing
Yeah.
controllers. You got the fucking Mega Yarn Yoshi,
Yeah, Mega Yarn Yoshi,
Shulk Amiibo.
Shulk Amiibo.
Yeah, it was Shulk Amiibo, which I remember thinking, it's not all.
It's not that rare anymore.
Majora's Mask 3D, and the Majora's Mask 3DS.
Yeah, and then the Majora's Mask 3DS right there was just like, wow,
son of a bitch.
And it was great. And you know what? I this guy's my spirit animal, because he was excited about the Majora's Mask and the 3DS, but he was more excited about the Mega Yarn Yoshi than probably even I could have been. And I remember when we left, I thought I'd be the same way.
Yes.
I would have been just as the Majora's Mask is great. The Majora's Mask 3DS is awesome. The Mega Yarn Yoshi I've yet to see in a store. Yeah. So I would have been super excited.
It's also because the Mega Yarn Yoshi is actually the one amiibo I'm trying to look for.
Good luck. I mean, without paying. What you mean without paying a premium?
Without paying up the ass.
Yeah, on the internet.
Does it even count as an amiibo? Like,
yeah, it's a fucking.
It's a plushie. Yeah, it's a yarn plushie with an amiibo chip inside.
Yeah, right up its ass.
Like it's a Toys R Us exclusive. That's why.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got a Toys R Us near here if you want to go for a drive.
I know where it is.
I'm a big boy. Getting my Mega Yarn Yoshi amiibo.
I'm a big kid now.
It's like, oh, you're getting this for your kid? Sure.
Yeah.
See,
what's his name? Schmelliot.
See, I have no shame. I would walk right up. Oh, you're getting this for your son? No.
Like
if I had a kid, he'd get his own.
I'm standing in line for me.
Yeah, it's what his allowance is for.
Yeah, I got a kid. His name's John.
Yeah, I used to go to McDonald's. Like, can I get a Happy Meal? Oh, well, what kind of toy do you want? Girl's toy. It's got My Little Pony in it. Yeah. Oh, is this for your kid? No. Not really. To be completely honest, I'd rather buy an extra value meal and you just give me the toy.
Yeah, you just take the bag and don't take his eyes off him while you're walking out the door.
Yeah, just look right at him, eye contact the whole time.
There were actually a few more panels I went to. Personally.
Yeah, what did you go to?
Yeah.
The first one I went to was actually the Ninja Sex Party panel.
What is that?
Ninja Sex Party is a music duo on YouTube. Daniel, or Mr. Sex Bang that he's named, he's actually part of Game Grumps.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Ninja Brian, who also has some part of Game Grumps. He's more part of Grumpcade, I think.
He does Grumpcade stuff. The what I would call the primary guys that I watch anyway are Dan and Aaron.
Yeah.
But Aaron is not part of the band.
But Ninja Sex Party's panel was actually pretty damn funny. Someone came up and asked them this question. Come up with a never-before-used euphemism for dick. Right off the bat, I think it was Dan. He called Lincoln Log.
Yeah, those guys are pretty... Did you go to the concert?
No, I didn't.
I missed the concert.
Yeah. Like, I heard one song from them. I really forgot what it was called.
They did a cover of Take On Me.
They did, yeah.
By Aha. That was pretty good.
I also went to the voice actors panels.
Yeah.
They had a regular panel and a workshop on Sunday.
Yeah, I went to part of the workshop.
Yeah, the
I was in
workshop.
the back for part of the workshop.
The workshop was actually pretty interesting, especially in my case.
Yeah, yeah.
What did they do?
Pretty much, it was a very interactive thing. They would call up different people. They would tell you to read these lines, but then they would also give you a little bit of exercises or challenges to it.
Yeah, I was there when the one guy had to do zombie.
Oh yeah.
Then they have it's great because the list of things that they want him to say are just rar, arg, grr. But then they basically go over it. Like they have him do one and they tell him, well, this is the letters there are basically just a suggestion. But then they said, you're a new zombie. You're a zombie who's been around for a while and you haven't eaten in a long time. You're this and that. And so it was essentially like it was a workshop. It was just different ways to learn to train yourself to do that. It was very interesting.
The last one I think is the last one, was the writing horror panel, which is literally like pointers that you would use if you wanted to like make your own like horror story. From what I do, I read creepypastas.
Yeah.
So I felt like it would also help me out a little bit too if I wanted to write my own.
I remember the first time spaghetti scared me.
Never forgetty.
Never forgetty.
Mom spaghetti.
Mom spaghetti. Arms sweaty.
Knees weak. Arms are heavy.
Kind of losing control here.
Yeah. It's kind of spiraling. We're going down 8 miles per hour. Did you go to any other panel? Or?
No, I had the intention of actually going to several, and I get wrapped.
Probably kicking too many people's ass on the Killer Instinct arcade.
Well, but I get wrapped up in the game room. Like I like to be a geek in a million different directions, but gaming is always going to be my passion. So when I go to these things, I always get trapped in the game room. I get wrapped up in the arcades. The arcade room is great. I don't do the dancing games, which was half the room, and necessarily so because they were all jammed up. What I would like is more taiko drummer machines.
That game was fun.
That game is awesome.
I did not play that game.
It was such a great game, but it was so crowded all the time, and there were some people didn't know how to get off after one song. Some people they just played 2 and 3, and it just it was hardly a nightmare or anything, but it was just crowded, and I would love to have an arcade around me where I could play this full size machine
at your leisure without having to worry about
Well, there is a home release version.
Yeah,
but Japan only.
But no,
with DK bongos.
Yeah, I need the big drum. I need the sticks. There were real wooden sticks in order to hit the drum with. That's great.
They were actual brand name sticks.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's one of the things that you'll never replicate in the home system is the size of these machines and the scope of how you play them. They can release 1,000 driving games on every system that they want, but nothing will beat the feel of sitting in the chair that's shaped like a car seat with a wheel in your hand with pedals on the floor. And that's it breaks my heart that arcades are sort of going away because I would say
they're pretty much gone in America.
Yeah, there's a couple here and there, but you can't replicate that experience.
No. You're right. You're absolutely right about that because what I felt in the game room at MAGFest, I have not felt.
It's such a positive
such
energy.
A long ass time. And I didn't get caught up in the game room as much as you did. I did not to say that I didn't play anything. I did play, several games. I stuck a lot of time with DDR.
Yeah.
Shout outs to I forgot her name. Shit. I think it was it Jennifer or Becky?
I think it was Jennifer.
But
curly hair, glasses.
Was it? I don't think she had curly hair. I think she had like long hair. I don't think
Yeah,
she had
it was
glasses
long,
either.
little curly.
Well, either way, we played songs together.
Yeah.
Because no one was. I was dancing for myself for a little bit, and then I got out of breath because it's been a while since I played DDR.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was basically his corner man. I would go and get water and stuff like that.
Yeah. And I spent some time playing DDR. Get my just to remind me of you need to fucking work out, you fat piece of shit. But
That's why I avoid them.
Yeah.
Plus, the NES Miracle Piano told me I am a rhythmless husk.
Yeah. I play fighting games as well, Pretty much all the mainstays. We played Marvel vs. Capcom 2.
I actually played Crazy Taxi while we were there.
Did you play Crazy Taxi?
Oh, yeah.
Taxi Arcade.
Crazy Taxi's fun. That's always gonna be fun.
Trashing people and
trash people in our respective games.
Yeah.
You know, because Marvel vs. Capcom 2, I was very 50-50. You know, sometimes I win, sometimes I didn't. Mortal Kombat 2, I dominated because I love Mortal Kombat 2.
Yeah.
And fucking Killer Instinct. Ugh, Jesus Christ.
Killer
I'll
Instinct.
talk about a game I don't like playing against someone. It's him.
Oh man, Killer Instinct is fun. I was ecstatic to see a machine because it's been so long since I've seen one.
Yeah.
And it was Thursday night, and I walked past it, and there were these guys playing it, and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna give this a try. It's been a little while." So the one guy loses, steps away from the machine, and steps back. And I asked him, "Is it all right if I play?" And he goes, "Actually, we're doing a tournament right now." So I found the guy who runs the tournament, and I said, "Can I get in it? Is it too late?" He found the slot for me, so he put me in there. So I got to play in a Killer Instinct tournament. The first guy went down pretty quick. Yeah. The second guy, we had a problem with the machine because the machine kept messing up. But when he finally fixed it, he went down like a sack of potatoes.
That was sabotage.
He went down like a sack of
He had a
potatoes.
scouter, read your power level, and I was like, "Fuck me, like nuke the machine."
And then the third guy, he was pretty decent, so I ended up losing to him.
Who do you use?
2 out of 3.
Because I'd imagine you'd be using Saberwolf.
I was using Saberwolf.
Yeah.
I actually intended to switch up to Orchid.
Yeah.
Just to. So I like the idea of switching up halfway through so they don't see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But with Saberwolf, he was just so overpowering, so it was just easier to play with him. But the way the guy was playing, there was no chance of me winning with anybody else, which is not, I'm not complaining. Shout out to the guy.
Which should be expected in a tournament.
Yeah, shout outs to the guy. He was really good. But yeah, and then I won it was basically second place, and the guy running the tournament goes, "Here you go, man." So he gives me this little coin, this little plastic coin. I'm thinking, oh, okay. I swear, if you look online, you see a picture of it. It looked like a 0 with a 1 with a line underneath it. So I'm standing there and I'm just thinking about it, and I went over to where he was and I said, "Look, I've never done this before. Is this just like a bragging rights coin?" He goes, "No, that's money. You can use it in the game room and all the vendors will accept it as money." And I went, "Okay, well, how much is it?" Because it says 0 with a line underneath. He turns it sideways and goes, "No, it's 10." Oh, okay. Oh, cool. Thanks. Yeah. Which I used it to buy Crystallis on the NES at a discounted price.
Do you think like some vendors are disgruntled about that sort of thing? They want green cash. They want Washington.
Yeah, not an orange coin.
Not an orange plastic fucking
Like-
Toys R Us.
Well, I'm assuming that they just cash it in at the end, and
And there was probably
get
like
the
some
money
there was probably some sort of policy they had to sign.
Yeah,
to accept that.
yeah, exactly. Because all of the 4-day passes had a little tab on it that you rip off, and so everybody who got a 4-day pass, the little tab was worth $1.
Yeah.
So I wonder if you showed up with a handful of tabs that people just didn't want. Could you just buy like I'll take that Vectrex there for $400. I have $400 tabs.
You take MagBucks.
Dude, how great would that be if you run a panel like you have to pay one MagBuck to get in here?
Yeah.
Just drop your free token in.
I actually got a token as well, but for a different reason. Right when you walk in, there's like a little spot where people are playing Rocksmith. I never played it. So I was talking to the guy like, I never played this before, but like it definitely does look easy. So the guy's like, "Okay, well, if you go up here, give it a shot, I'll give you a token." I'm like, "Okay, yes. Yeah, please." And
A free token. Bus ride, here I come.
It's like 6-hour Greyhound ride.
and then to be honest, every time I would like be there, I would want to play Rocksmith more because it's actually a lot of fun. It's easy once you get the hang of it.
Well, beating the Metroid games in the marathon gave you money as well.
Yeah, which I had no idea.
Yeah,
I didn't
'cause you
find
beat
out till
your-
the end.
yeah.
I went up to the guy and said, "You get a token for them?" Because I did one of those and I didn't get a
I
token.
want my $1, damn it.
Yeah, right. I want half a discount NES game.
Can I get that pixel art Metroid? I got a half token for it.
You accept MacBooks?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping they would accept that around outside the convention too. Like can I get a small coffee from Starbucks? It'll be $17.50. You take MagBucks? Yeah. Just overall, just what a great time.
It was a great time.
What a great time. I really can't wait to go back.
Yeah, for
and
next year,
do that
I think
again.
next time is as soon as dates are announced, all that other shit, we need to jump on the hotel.
Yeah.
You know, not to say we didn't have a good time with the Wyndham Resort. It was a beautiful room. It really was. Probably the best hotel room I ever stayed in.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Just it as a hotel, it's not necessarily a hotel. It is essentially a vacation resort.
Yeah.
So what happens is you've got a full kitchen. They don't provide anything.
No.
Like they had coffee in the morning, which
bitter as shit.
yeah. Well, I was going to be.
okay, we're talking
I was
about-
going to be more polite about how bad the coffee was.
I'm sorry, no.
But
as a coffee connoisseur, I will decry your coffee if it tastes like shit.
Yeah.
It tastes like shit.
Yeah, it was
and I had to resort to buying fucking $7-8 Starbucks coffee. Just like, okay, we can't end the video.
I see you got the
Like,
small.
we can't end this podcast without talking about what was probably the worst fucking part of the trip.
There's no probably about it.
Yeah, the con prices.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I just to reiterate, you know, there are a few places around the area that sell regular food at reasonably priced, you know.
Well, hold on. Let's clear something up really quick. When you say con prices, we're not talking about food at the convention hall. This is not your standard convention hall. There are no food areas. There's no food court. You can't go and buy a soda and a big ass pretzel.
Yeah.
It's not that kind of convention hall. The closest food was right outside, still in the building, but right outside the actual hall. That was a Starbucks.
Yeah.
That's why there is no
There was-
actual convention food.
There was two. Well, I call it con food because there's
Yeah.
food you get inside the con,
Yeah.
not necessarily
Yeah.
a con brand.
Well, that's just it. This technically was not inside the convention
Yeah.
because this Starbucks was outside of the where you needed to have a badge was not there.
Yeah.
You could have just been staying at the hotel, not been attending MAGFest, and gone to the Starbucks.
I know what you mean.
Yeah. So it was, and unfortunately, it was the area that was like that because outside the area there was a CVS. There was a Subway if you walked a few blocks, and then everything else was restaurants.
Yeah.
Not cheap restaurants.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I'd say the food wasn't good, but it was like, I can't spend money like this all day.
Yeah,
And then I don't have a choice because fucking the Starbucks inside the area. I love the fountain, but that's like the one sour point of that fountain.
Yeah.
They have Starbucks because, you know, I get coffee, fucking paying $7-8 for that because they don't sell small. They smell grande and venti.
Yeah, or whatever. I don't know.
And
Give me the biggest cup you have.
God forbid if you want to buy lunch or anything like that, fucking $9 for like a chicken bake.
Oh, yeah.
And then I wanted to buy the chicken strips and the fries with the drink. It's $20 fucking dollars.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was $8 for the chicken tenders, $5 for the fries, and then I think the sodas were about $4, and then it was all tax.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little bit up there. And I remember I bought the fries, and I thought these fries better be amazing. And as I ate them, I thought, you got lucky.
Yeah. The fries are good.
They were good.
It's still horseshit, but
Yeah,
they're
it was
really
still a
good.
lot
Like, you know,
for a cup of fries.
you got some good fries, but the fucking
damn
price
Price
is
is horseshit. The price is
Bullshit.
horseshit. The price is horseshit, Morty.
If we're gonna pick a low point to the trip, that was gonna be it. Was definitely the food, which is easily remedied. I mean, that's a first year problem when you don't know.
Yeah.
So next year, buy a bunch of groceries.
Yes.
You know, our room had a full size refrigerator with a freezer. Buy a bunch of frozen pizzas and stuff and put them in the fridge and don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
You know, these are first year problems. You got to learn.
Lesson learned.
Yeah.
Man. That was definitely, I think, the lowest point of the con. I can't really think of anything others. Not that I want to harp on those anyway because this podcast
No,
is
no.
mostly
To be,
positive.
you know what though? Even if we wanted to, I really don't think. I mean, other than the food, I'd be struggling for anything to say. You know,
Yeah.
other than the food, having to carry our hoodies around in
Yeah.
bags was the worst thing that could
Which is
happen.
not even a con problem. That's more of a
Yeah,
me problem.
Yeah.
that's a weather problem. You're not fighting that anyway.
Yeah. The convention was a great time. Glad to have gone. Happy to, people weren't blowing smoke up my ass when they were saying, go to MAGFest. It's a great time. Definitely want to try and go next year. And next year, I definitely want to try and get a place at the Gaylord. So
Yeah.
that we can, that's what I love about MomoCon. Because MomoCon convention is right inside the hotel that you're staying in.
It just brings so much convenience.
Yeah,
To it.
you got to get something, go upstairs and get something.
Yep.
And come back down. That's, I love that sort of thing. So next year, when everything's set up, I definitely do want to get a place there and go again next year because I did have a really good time. And next time, I'm definitely going to try and go to more concerts, put more emphasis on the music of Music and Gaming Festival.
Yeah, yeah, because we went to AgFest.
Yeah, I went to AgFest. No, just G-Fest.
We went to G-Fest.
Yeah, we went
No,
to G-Fest.
that's already a convention.
Is G-Fest?
G-Fest?
It's Godzilla Fest.
Oh, fuck no.
Right. When I think you said G, I was thinking of really different convention.
Yeah.
I mean, they sold hentai here, but
Oh
it
yeah,
was not G
there was one
convention.
vendor that was selling hentai.
Yeah.
There was a guy that had the hentai grab bags.
Yeah.
And I think they were-
Shameless
which-
as fuck.
Yeah,
But then it's like, why? We have the internet.
Yeah, the people was like, you could get that. I was like, why? I already have the internet.
well, did you see there was the red car, the Acura NSX that was outside. That hentai was the license plate.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And if that guy gets out of the car and he's got at least one tentacle for an arm, don't get in that car with
It's
him.
like he may be sketchy as shit.
Yeah, I've seen enough hentai to know where this guy's going.
Yeah. But this year is only beginning when it comes to cons
Yep.
because again, I mean the next big one for us in particular is Too Many Games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's at June 24th to the 26th, so we still got plenty of time for that one.
I mean, we already booked our hotel room.
We booked the
so-
hotel. The passes are already set in place. We're going. MomoCon at the end of May, where me and the Brain Scratch crew are once again guests. We're most likely going to have another live panel there, so you can look forward to that. That was it for MAGFest, folks. Once again, I want to thank my uncle and my brother Elliot for joining me for this podcast and shooting the shit, having a good time. How long did this go? About an hour and 12 minutes long.
God damn.
Something like that. I'm sure there'll be stuff you edit out.
Yeah, it was probably like an hour and 11 minutes after it's all
Yeah,
done.
there you go. There you go. That sounds about right.
There was like 7,000 uhs. We need to work on your uhs.